Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin is currently again back below 38k, very little volatility, which is no surprise given that we are getting closer and closer to an apex within a descending wedge here, which is generally considered a bullish pattern. Of course, it doesn't need to break to the upside. What we have often seen in the last few weeks was either that when there was a breakout, for example, to the upside, that there was a fake out and we moved then back down, or obviously the other way around, that we've seen that various times, that there was a breakout to the downside and then we moved up. So a bit of these fake outs, be aware of them. Therefore, it is so important to always wait for retests, especially in the current market conditions where we are not in a clear uptrend and also at the moment not in a clear downtrend. At least here short term, we are sort of in a sideways range still, even though we broke out of that ascending channel here, that sort of bear flag. But typically what you would have expected after a breakout out of such a massive flag pattern, that you are going down fairly swiftly and quickly, that hasn't happened. So we are still sort of, while we drop lower and make here lower lows, we are still, I would say, not yet in the free fall that I am waiting for, because we still wait for that drop into the target area between 20 and 29,000 US dollars for Bitcoin, to complete that expanded flat pattern, which there is. Someone asked me in the previous video about the Bitcoin wave count, the medium term one, I think that was. So I'm just gonna reiterate where we are here. My view is that we have seen here a 5-wave move into April 21. That was a larger wave 1. Bitcoin has completed so far, in my opinion, two 1-2 setups. This is the third 1-2 setup, which means all of these 1-2 waves need a 3 and a 4, which is super bullish and will prepare Bitcoin for the years to come in a bullish way. But this here was a wave 1. In my view, we are here in a wave 2 still. That this here was just the wave A, that this here was the wave B, and that this here is the wave C, and that would complete that wave 2, after which we can expect a wave 3. And if we talk about a target for that wave 3, and bear in mind that could be quite a bit of time away, but if we draw those Fibonacci levels, and we have to now make an assumption about where the wave 2 will land. So let's just give it a 27.5k level. Then the minimum target for the next larger wave up for that wave 3 would be $128,000. The 1.618 Fibonacci extension level is the minimum target for a wave 3. Chances are that will be higher, because as I said, we have 3 1-2 setups on the Bitcoin chart, which means that there are extended waves. Wave 3 could be extended, wave 5 could be extended, and that can take us much higher than that, than the 1.618. This would really just be the basis, the basic target, the minimum target for the wave 3. But how long can the correction take? I don't know. I had a lot of questions. I can't answer these questions. I can't tell you how long it will take to recover. My take on it, and it's purely a guess, I think here we are going to see, well, I originally assumed end of Q1, but it has taken longer because I did not expect us to be in this range for so long. As soon as we see the drop, a couple of months, 3 months maybe, from where we are, because you don't drop in one way. You're going to have some moves up, a move down, a move up, a move down, until you finally reach that yellow target area. And then how long will it take to recover? That is so hard to say, but my view is that we should recover fairly quickly. The next wave should be a wave 3 that should normally get a rocket start. So let's hope for that. This is independent from any kind of war or whatever that's going on, because we have seen in the past that normally during war times, prices of assets moved to new all-time highs. They dropped when a war was announced, but they then recovered during the war and they moved to new all-time highs. So we don't need to wait for the end of, for example, the war in the Ukraine for prices to go up again. This can happen earlier. Just sort of as a bit of background information. There's some data around it, and we've seen it from World War II into other wars, that you don't need to wait for the end of the war for certain assets to go back to new all-time highs and to recover. And that can typically take quite a while, but it can also happen fairly quickly. So this is really, really hard to say. So hopefully, I still think we could see new all-time highs this year, but obviously time is running out. Yeah, it is possible. We've seen it before. And that's all I can tell you. And that's just the brutal honesty, right? I can. Yeah, there's no reason to say anything that I don't know. You don't know. Timing is difficult. Obviously, still in this descending wedge, and yeah, we're waiting here for a breakout and a decision. At the moment, not much volatility, as I said, making a new swing low here at 37.5K. This is pretty much at the height of those previous lows here around beginning of March. That obviously is support, therefore it might take a bit of time to really break through it. But before we really go much deeper, I would expect that move up in that wave 2. In this current move down, we still have space into the region of 35K, as I said. We could do that, yeah, based on the Fibonacci extensions, that the wave 5 could still drop a little bit lower. We just have to wait for the completion of the wave 5, and then we will know with a very high likelihood that there will be a larger wave 2 counter reaction, yeah, and then the wave 3 down, that should really be quite fast and strong, and then a wave 4 up and a wave 5 down. Now Wednesday there will be new interest rates announced by the Fed. So on Wednesday we can expect a lot of volatility in the market. Typically there's a press conference, there are questions, and normally when these questions are being answered, that is typically when you see quite a bit of volatility. So from the announcement about interest rates, maybe an hour before that to an hour after the press conference, we can expect quite a bit of volatility. We've seen it before pretty much every month so far, or every time that happened in the last few months, we have seen quite a bit of volatility. The Fed is expected to go a bit faster with interest rate increases. So if there is anything unexpected, prices could drop a little bit faster. That is just how it is, but we don't know. So what I can tell you is that we will see volatility, but what happened before and really over the last few months, what we have observed, there were a few hours of volatility and then it was back to normal. So don't panic on these days. On Wednesday, it could actually mean that until Wednesday, we don't really see a lot happening here, because that is what usually is the case, that before these decisions, the market is just waiting. There is little volatility, so we could really see markets holding off for a moment. And until Wednesday, we might not see much movement. And that is something that we need to be prepared for, that we have to wait until there is a decision to really see markets move into a certain direction, either up or down. At the moment, we are caught in this descending wedge and just have to wait for that breakout. Breakout to the downside would happen at the moment, and I'll take the previous swing low here now, below 37.4. To the upside, if it happened today, it would need to be above 39.5K. Yeah, and then we would need to get back into the channel above 40.4K and then back into the green range here, which would be for that wave 2 target. And that's pretty much where we are. Currently, you can see it's quite a strong downtrend in this wedge at the moment. The green candles are fairly small, and typically the reply from the market to those green candles is usually an engulfing candle here, at least in the last few days. That is something to be aware of. Overall, here on the MACD, you can see further pushing down. So at the moment, no recovery in sight. Bitcoin is also not oversold. Many altcoins are oversold. Bitcoin isn't. So that means it doesn't necessarily need to move up, but you need at some point here to get this counter reaction in a wave 2. That is still what I expect, but short term we could move down a little bit more before we see that, based on the Fibonacci extensions for that wave in which we currently are in. Sideways movement, so also the indicators don't really give us much to read here, right? So it means a bit of waiting. Yeah, hopefully nevertheless the update was useful. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and don't forget there'll be a member live stream today at in 3 hours pretty much. Don't know, you'll probably see that video a little bit later at 5 o'clock UTC for channel members. And yeah, if you're interested in joining as a channel member, check out the video description. There are now 3 ways of joining, either on my website, here on YouTube, or via Patreon. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.